PT Pop here. I'm going to do my review of my Taylor T5z Classic. Stay tuned. So, this is my new Taylor T5z, and if you watch my other reviews on this guitar, you know I've had some issues with it. Just as you know, as I had to have the preamp replaced. This is a brand new, basically a $2,000 guitar, that the preamp was bad on it. I contacted Taylor, and Taylor took care of it right away. I've had the guitar back from the shop now for about, I don't know, it's all Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, about 5 days. I've played it now for about 5 hours, not straight, but off and on coming back to it, and it hasn't cut out anymore. Taylor took care of it. I want to thank Taylor Guitars for fixing it, because Taylor Guitars figured out what was wrong with it. Now, my review here is a little bit tainted because of my issues with the preamp. But that being said, I'm going to try to give you a no fluff review of this guitar. When I say no fluff, I've seen other reviews of this very guitar in the other T5 series that guys are just whacking off on the guitar. And they're just doing that up and down the neck, and they're just playing like they're guitar aficionados, which they are. And I'm not going to do that because they don't play like that, but I think you need an honest review of the guitar instead of just trying to dazzle with the sounds of all the different positions on their expression system, okay? So this is just going to be a straightforward review of the guitar. Another thing you got to know is I'm not a technical nerd. I don't know a lot about electronics. So I'm going to give you my interpretation, my understanding of the expression system, but I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on it because I'm not an expert on electronics or how they're wired or how the expression system works. I would go find somebody else's review on, probably from Guitar Center or Taylor Guitars or stuff like that. I am a Taylor, I love Taylor guitars. I've been playing Taylor guitars since 1998. I bought a Taylor 310 back then. I've never had a problem with that guitar. I bought it straight acoustic. I had a Fishman saddle pickup put into it, or bridge pickup put into it aftermarket, and I've never had a problem with the guitar. It's been a wonderful guitar, stays tuned nicely, it sounds wonderful and warm, and it's got better sounding with age. That being said, why did I buy this guitar if I play an acoustic? Well, I do a lot of acoustic blues, and I do a lot of acoustic soft classic rock like James Taylor, You've Got a Friend. You know, or that kind of stuff. But I also do a lot of solos, and I do a lot of blues. My gigs are usually anywhere from 3 to 4 hours long, and I was really tired of playing just the acoustic guitar because it was destroying my fingers. It was just ruining my hand, and I wanted to buy a guitar that I could play both, you know, jazz types. So I do a lot of jazz stuff. I do a lot of Fly Me to the Moon, and I do a lot of you know, like Dave Brubeck. And on the acoustic, it was really hard to play riffs and do a lot and not have my hands get ripped apart. So I started looking at the jazz, I call them jazz guitars, the archtop guitars, the kind that Wes Montgomery used in the 60s. And I found those guitars were way out of my price range. I mean, I think he played a Gibson. I'm not positive. But he had one of the full-body archtop guitars that in today's market go for anywhere from $10,000 to $25,000. And some of the other ones that were closer to my range were started at $5,000, even the used ones. So I couldn't afford them. So I kept searching around for a guitar where I could play both acoustic and play jazz and blues all in one instrument without having to keep switching guitars. And I found the Taylor T5 series. Now, I don't know if I said this at the beginning. This is a Taylor T5z Classic. The T stands for thin line because it's got a thin body on it. It's a very thin, sleek look. The 5 stands for the expression system. Turn that down. Expression system has 5 positions on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. As I said, I'm not a techno nerd or anything like that, but I can tell you that this guitar has a nice, full, warm jazz sound. It can play also acoustic sounds, and it's perfect for what I need to do. It's like 2 guitars in one for me, without having to switch out guitars during a gig. This has a great sound. It has a great neck. This is a thinner neck than my acoustic. It's easier to play. The action is easier to play. It's got a nice warm sound. It has nice sustain to it. And it feels good in my hands. My hand feels good on it. It's easy to play. It feels good around here. My leg. The worst thing I can say about the body, it's got a very nice, smooth finish on it. And it looks good. It feels good. It's nice and smooth. But the worst part is, as I'm playing, is it's so smooth and soft, it starts to slide off my leg. So by the time I'm done with the song, I'm down like I keep having to change it. Which might be more how I play, and I know there's ways I can fix it. There's things I can put down here to kind of maybe put a blanket under here or something. I'm playing today through a Fender Delux amplifier with no effects. This is just straight how the guitar sounds, so you're not going to get any frills here. A lot of the guys come here that said they're now let's put some distortion on. And I'm not going to do that because I think you need a no frills, no fluff review of this guitar so you know what it's really all about. You know I've had problems with the preamp. You know it's got a smooth, slippery finish. This is your volume. This is your bass control. This is your tone control. So you can roll off the bass, turn it up, roll off the treble, or turn it up. So you got volume, bass, and tone control on this guitar as well. I'm going to go over briefly the expression system. First position is the neck humbucker. There's a neck humbucker in here under the neck, and an acoustic body sensor playing at the same time. I don't know if they're in parallel or they're a series. Let me see what it says here. It basically gives you an acoustic sound. So I'll use this. Probably I'll need an ABY switch to switch to my acoustic sound. But listen to that's turned down. So. So if you're doing a lot of acoustic stuff, soft acoustic classic rock, that's the perfect position for this. Now the second position, first position is here, second position is the next one up. And this is just the neck humbucker, which is going to give you more of a arch top jazz, full body jazz, electric guitars, you know. Now to me that gives you a more balanced sound. I don't know if that's what you're hearing, but it's not too bassy, it's not too mid-rangey, it's just kind of right there in the... So the second position with just a neck pickup gives a nice balanced tone. Now the third position, which is the third notch up, is just the bridge humbucker. This is a stacked humbucker, which I believe means one is on top of the other. Kind of makes sense, stacked. And just this is playing. Now I think this gives it more of a mid-rangey sound. This to me has more of a mid-rangey sound that should probably be good playing some more like honky-tonk sounds like. Fourth position is the neck and the bridge playing in parallel, which now again, I'm not a techno nerd, but I believe that means they play at the same time. The signal is going through both pickups at the exact same time. This is my most favorite position, and this is what sold me on the guitar because it gives a nice, warm, full, more lower end sound. I'm leaning more towards a jazz sound now. I'm trying to get away from just the warm, soft classic rock and kind of do more of a jazz thing, you know. And this is the perfect position for this sound. To my ear, it sounds good. It's a little bit bassy, but you can roll some of that bass off. Warm, delicate, warm, inviting sound. The fifth position is the neck and bridge pickups playing in series, meaning the signal goes from one pickup and then it goes into the other instead of in parallel. And I believe on this one, I'm not sure in the series, I think it hits the neck and goes the bridge and out the cable to your amp. I think this has, compared to 4, this has a more full, balanced sound. You compare it to number 2. Number 2 with just the neck pickup. It's got a warmer but mid-rangey sound. I think this has a fuller, rounder sound. I don't know how to describe it. I know how But I think the way it processes the signal, parallel to series, I think in series, I believe it processes the frequencies differently because you've got different pickups that are designed differently to process different signals and handle them differently. But again, I'm not going to go into that because I don't know much about it. I just know how it sounds to my ear. Overall, I'd say this is a solid guitar, despite the problems I've had with it. Taylor took care of it. I still believe in Taylor. The worst thing I can say about this guitar, other than the aforementioned, is the tuners. It doesn't stay in tune. I don't know if they still use Grovers on these, but my Taylor 310 has like 22 to 1 turn ratios on the Grovers, which means if you turn this 22 times, the post goes around once. So a good tuner, the more you have to turn this to get this to go around 1 revolution, they're better tuners. If you've got like 8 to 1 or 12 to 1, the guitar strings will go out of tune quicker. So if you do any bending on your guitar a lot of the bending on the string. See, I think it goes out. I tuned this up before I started the video. See how the G string sounds now. It's still pretty good. So one thing to consider here in my analysis of the tuners is these are the original strings that were on the guitar when I bought it. I haven't changed the strings out. These are medium gauge electric guitar elixirs, which is what Taylor recommends. I've used elixirs for 20 years and they're amazing strings. So I don't know if this thing will stay in tune or not. It's been pretty good so far. It does seem to go out of tune a lot more than I think a $2,000 guitar should. So I don't know if they changed the tuners or it's the way the guitar tech at the guitar store strung this. He strings the strings different than I do. I do like an anchor system where I wrap the string around and I pull it through and I anchor it, which keeps my guitar in tune. I tighten these up a bit. I turn the screws on them and tighten it up. It seems to help a little bit. But overall, fingers crossed and the preamp stays working. This is a good sounding guitar where I can use it for acoustic sounds. I can use it for jazz sounds. And if I want to get crazy and start playing more like Jimi Hendrix or Eddie Van Halen, I don't know if you can do tapping on it's a pretty good guitar, is what I'm trying to say, basically. And for my purposes and for what I do, it's perfect for me. So now I don't have to have the acoustic guitar with me. I can just have this guitar. And I can have an AB box. You just hit an AB box, you play through this amp, and you hit the button, you play through your acoustic amp. So I hope you liked this review. I know it wasn't like a techno nerd's dream. I don't do a lot of riffing on this stuff because that's not how I play. But if you want a good solid guitar, I don't know if I can exactly recommend this because I have to hold on to it and play it for a while before I see if the preamp holds up. I wouldn't want to recommend a guitar, $2,000 guitar with bad equipment on it, bad electronics, because that's what I end up getting. So there you have it, Taylor T5z Classic, and go check it out at your local guitar store, see what you think. And thanks for watching. If you like my videos, give it a thumbs up, the snooter. Have a good day. Bye.